Thank you for tuning in to The Reading, produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance, you want to learn how to work with your ancestors, or you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, then subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. Okay, so we're going to get into the reading on Pastor John Gray. So if you all are not familiar with the Pastor John Gray is a very popular Southern preacher. I think he lives here in Atlanta, but you all should Google who Pastor John Gray is, because as a pastor, he recently confessed that he had been cheating with his wife. But we're going to look deep into the relationship to see what was going on for him to start cheating on his wife. Okay, that's the first thing that I'm going to do. All right, so what I'm seeing right now from this overall oracle pool that I'm getting here is that right now, Pastor John Gray is gambling with a situation that could cause him legal issues. So the more that he speaks out about this, the woman could potentially, she's thinking about trying to sue him for defamation of character or something, but it's petty. She's just thinking about it. But I'm also seeing here the card for resentment in his house of hidden advantages. So there's a replaying of a memory or a feeling that's keeping him angry. And this feeling that's keeping him angry is acting like a ball and chain on his soul. It's tricking him into believing that he's healed when he's really not. So he still has a tendency to step out on his wife. But in his house of in his house of personal truth and hidden answers, we see that he wants friendship, prayers, and healing, because he needs they're saying prayer is needed to bring clarity, to bring friendship or clarity, so that romance can be started in his relationship again. What needs to be organized in his house of organization is healing work. So he needs to go to marriage therapy. He needs marriage therapy so that he can bring harmony to his relationship. And there's also therapy that's needed to help with some mental problems as well, because I'm seeing that he has a tendency to disassociate himself from the events that have actually transpired. So he'll try to distance himself from the cheating. Now, the law of cause and effect in his house of greatest spiritual challenge is talking about him mastering his thoughts and feelings, because if you don't master your thoughts and feelings, what's in you is going to come out of you. Okay, so he had these tendencies. He's for a long time been having, from these cards, having the tendency to cheat. I don't know if this was his first time, but let's see. Does his wife truly believe? I want to know, does Pastor John Gray's wife truly believe that he was just emotionally cheating on her? Does Pastor John Gray's wife truly believe that her husband never had sex with that woman? Does she really believe that? Pastor John Gray's wife has the energy from so for the Ten of Spades to be here, she's someone that she feels betrayed by what happened. So she knows that he stepped out on her. She knows that it was a sexual relationship. She doesn't believe him. But for the public, she's choosing not to say that she doesn't believe him. They want to put up a united front. In addition to that, she feels like she's so used to putting up a good face and having to pretend that she's just like, what's pretending? One more bit of information is just not true. I'll come out and say that I got cheated on, but it wasn't cheated on in the same way that everybody else has gotten cheated on, is how she's trying to deal with it. Now, Pastor John Gray's wife, I'm also seeing here from the cards that she's trying to do whatever she can to make the relationship work. So she's not exactly like, oh, I'm going to leave him alone. She's saying to herself that I want to get over this hump really, really badly. Now, I'm also seeing that there are things that are she's in a spiritual disarray right now, because God is telling her that she's not God is telling her that she's not choosing to seek out the truth. She's choosing to play around with the facts. Now, there's a difference. She's choosing to manipulate the facts so that she can feel better about what she has going on rather than dealing with the truth, facing the truth, and dealing with what's going on. I'm also saying here from these cards that she, Pastor John Gray's wife, she just wants to keep the home together right now. They have children. She doesn't want divorce. That's the last thing that she wants. And then with him showing up as the King of Hearts, there's a part of her that strongly believes that he didn't do it. But deep down in her heart, she knows that he did do it. But she won't acknowledge or even recognize the conflict in her feelings, because she feels like if she recognizes the conflict, then she has to face the truth. But when him coming up as a King of Hearts, it speaks about him actually in private. He's denied that the thing is, he won't admit that he has these feelings. Like, he wants to step out on her. In addition to that, he also feels he's blamed her for the infidelity at some point. And in addition to that, she feels like if she keeps pressuring him into admitting that he had a sexual relationship with this woman, that is going to block his creative potential and is going to make it harder for him to go to work. So she's trying to make it easy on him right now. So it's like, it's easier to just work on things and to make things okay. So I want to see, so the Mistress released audio. There was an interview where the Mistress said that Pastor John Gray he likes to video chat women. She said that he likes to call her via the video chat. He likes to masturbate on video chat, and when he ejaculates or when he orgasms, he'll start speaking in tongues like me. Oh, that was a good nut, like that. Like, so is that true, or is she lying? The cards are saying that she's saying this information to be funny, even though it is true. Like, there's a part of her that really wants this information to be funny. The outcome of this is that there's supposed to be some humorousness to it, and the humorousness is supposed to sensationalize it, and it's to help spread it. But it is true. Now, that's all to say. What she's leaving out, though, is that she liked that about him. There was a part of it that actually turned her on and made her feel as though he was making love to her, or that the sexual experiences were more genuine than what she had initially thought they were. I'm also seeing that she's heartbroken that the relationship ended. She hates that they're not together, and there's a part of her that still wants to be taken care of by him. With her to come up as a Queen of Hearts, it's saying that, from this girl's interview, she comes up as, sensitive and emotionally intelligent. And she's someone that's in touch with her emotions. And in addition to that, she's a very supportive partner. But at the same time, even though on the surface she appears as though she's just trying to tell her side of the story, there's another part of her that's hurt and heartbroken. And she feels that she needs to tell this side of the story to let go of some burdens. Now, with the Six of Diamonds here in the House of Hidden Advantages, it's talking about her. She's angry that she's not being sponsored anymore. That's not sitting well with her. And in addition to that, she feels like John Gray is taking a break from her, and she wouldn't be surprised if he tried it again, because that's what I see that's on her mind. She's like, no, he liked it so much. He's so addicted. He video chatted me, and I'm getting that even when, and this is the thing that I get, even when the wife found out, he has still been trying to figure out how he can, maneuver, how he could navigate between the two of them. He was still like, well, how can I tell my congregation I'm fixing this? How can I tell my wife that I still want the marriage, but how can I still deal with you on the side? So she's doing things to make sure that he cuts it off cold turkey. But at the same time, she's also exposing this information because she's like, if he comes back, then that just proves that he's very, very serious about me and that he really liked what was going on. Okay, so I want to now know, how does, let's see, because TD Jakes Pastor T.D. Jakes was praying over Pastor John Gray. What does Pastor T.D. Jakes think about this new audio that has surfaced where Pastor John Gray's mistress admits that the relationship was sexual, financial, and emotional? So how does T.D. Jakes feel about the new information? Okay, T.D. Jakes is showing up as the king of the Joker. T.D. Jakes is showing up as the king of hearts. Okay, so a lot of the similar cards are coming out. So T.D. Jakes' energy, I get that T.D. Jakes has a lot of positive influence over Pastor John Gray. That he's like he's like an older brother. It's like, he's like an older brother, almost uncle figure for him. Uncle figure could lean father figure, but mainly like older brother. Pastor T.D. Jakes is just hoping that this doesn't hurt his congregation, hurt his church attendance. And he's like, you got to think about, I hate to say this, but T.D. Jakes is like, you got to think about your pockets. And is there money that's coming in or out? Because the Jack of Diamonds is here. So it's like T.D. Jakes is worried. T.D. Jakes is mainly worried that his congregation, John Gray's congregation, may not be as loyal to him anymore, and he also wants John Gray to examine the publicity that he's attracting, or the attention that he's attracting to this situation, because people are going to have questions now. T.D. Jakes feels like if Pastor John Gray doesn't carefully examine his financial future, he's not going to be able to sow more seeds and heal more souls. He also feels like Pastor John Gray is misleading his congregation or misleading his followers as well. But T.D. Jakes gets it. He's like, I get why there are some things. He's like, there are some things that you do really want to keep to yourself, but at the same time, T.D. Jakes feels like there's so much interest in this that his congregation isn't exactly going to want to let it go. So I do see that this is going to hurt his church membership. I see that happening. I see the church membership declining and money being an issue because of this particular scandal, especially if John Gray comes back out to speak about it again. It's probably best for him to just be quiet at this point, which is what T.D. Jakes feels. Now, with the 8 of clubs being here, he feels like Pastor John Gray needs to lay low for a while and perhaps have someone else. It's like, you need to go to therapy. Y'all need to work on you all's marriage. There needs to be a rebranding of the family. There needs to be an actual integration of God into your sexual lives for the both of you. And T.D. Jakes also, like, intuitively, because the Joker is here in that house of hidden advantages, T.D. Jakes feels like their relationship is kind of a sham, because he's like, intuitively, I don't really see the sexual chemistry between the two of you. So I'm kind of confused about like what it is that you all are doing, what it is that you all have going on. So we're gonna now look and try to see, I want to know, with Pastor John Gray and the audio coming out, what is his wife's reaction to the mistress? What is the wife's reaction to the new information that the mistress has revealed? Okay. And did y'all know that Pastor John Gray was leaving this girl voicemails and asking her, she was like, my wife knows about you. She knows about the hotel adventures. We have to please don't answer her calls. And then when he was in the girl's town, he's like, I just want to come see you. I'm out here doing some business, but I guess you don't want to see me. Got it. So the voicemails were, pretty pretty damning towards the credibility of Pastor John Gray's story. But anyway, what I'm saying here is that how did the wife is still choosing to believe her husband. She's like, I'm not going to let the marriage go. She's like, no matter what's being said or what comes out, I'm not going to believe it because I believe my husband. She's like, this woman, her spirit, her energy is not right. She's a liar. She's trying to destroy the progress of my relationship. And in addition to that, she's trying to destroy my home. She wants my my husband. And she's like, this whirlwind romance could never turn into a marriage. But at the same time, I see her trying to travel through it. So it's like right now they're thinking about vacationing because the information has come out. He met with her and said, hey, baby, do you want to go out? Do you want to go out somewhere? It's like Pastor John Gray is doing everything that he can to keep this off his wife's mind. Okay. And she's frustrated because she's getting frustrated. The wife is getting frustrated because she feels like the more the mistress speaks, or the more that people inquire into their business, it makes it more difficult for the married couple, Pastor John Gray and his wife, to get over these misunderstandings and these mislaid messages, to fix their blocks in communication. And it's also with the Knight of Spears here, is talking about the passion is also still dead between the two of them. Between John Gray and his wife, it hasn't really been fixed. It's like it's not really hot. I don't see it as they're rekindling things on a sexual level. I don't think that he's still screwing his wife in the bedroom, but and putting their dick down. But I do think that he's trying to win her over financially, because he's not really that sexually attracted to her, because the Ten of Coins is here. All she's thinking, they have kids together. I don't know, but I get from the Ten of Coins they do have kids together. Most pastors of his stature would typically do that so that they could, create the image of a happy and stable Christian home. Nevertheless, with the Hierophant and the Ten of Coins being a part of the spread, she's like, I'm going to focus on my children. I'm going to focus on my marriage. I love the Lord. The Lord said that my marriage is going to be fine. I talked to God. I prayed about it, and I'm good. Even though more of the truth is still coming out, she's still hanging on. She's still hanging on. Now, you're probably wondering, like, what the fuck does the King of Spears mean in the House of Organization? But the King of Spears in the House of Organization speaks about this. Pastor John Gray is still looking for his freedom. He's looking for his freedom from his marriage. He's still looking for that. I get that there's a light bulb. He had a light bulb moment recently where he said that he got a light bulb moment where he told his wife, he said, something, the reason that I've been treating you the wrong way is because that mistress, she's been really hurting my feelings and doing all these things to me and XYZ, and she had my mind so twisted. And he's charismatic in, like, for the way that his wife views him, he's very charismatic and very domineering. But at the same time, it's like she just submits like a Christian wife. It's like that she really believes in a Christian theology. That's the energy that I'm getting from her. No, I've never listened to a sermon from Pastor John Gray. I literally was reading, I think it was Black Sports Online or something. I was reading some article where they were talking about this, and I went and listened to the audio, and I was like, this man is a fool. But I'm a big fan of Sarah Jakes Roberts and T.D. Jakes Roberts. Sarah Jakes Roberts and Bishop T.D. Jakes. I'm huge fans. So, okay, now I want to know what is John Gray's congregation feel? What is the overall energy of his congregation since this voicemail scandal? Since the voicemails debut, what is the overall feeling of the congregation? Let's see. What is their overall feeling? Okay, so we're going to pull a card for the foundation of the reading. So I'm going to put it here. So foundation, the Six of Swords. So the congregation is actually, some of them are trying to ride with him, and then some of them are looking for an escape plan. There are some of them that are looking for other churches. So it's pretty mixed. It's pretty mixed. I'm going to pull one more card to get a little bit more of the foundation. Queen of Swords. The women in the congregation are like choosing. It's the women in the congregation that are choosing to leave. The men are not so much as moved. They're not particularly interested in the scandalousness of this incident, but it's the women that looked up to The wife, because they felt like they felt like she found a good man and they could seek out advice from her, but at the same time, with the way she's handling it, there are some things that she's preaching to her congregation about that's not sitting well with them, particularly around how quickly she's forgiven him, and then trying to turn the other cheek to some very blatant facts that he did sexually step out on her. All right, so the overall energy of how this is affecting the congregation. There are so many club cards here. Okay, the overall energy of how this is going to affect the organization. The cards, the church is an organization. The cards are saying that his congregation is going to continue working with him. They have mixed feelings, but are they going to act on those mixed feelings is the question. That's the big question. Now, the Two of Clubs here is talking about a split decision. So they're at a crossroads. They're like, should we stay? Should we go? And Pastor John Grace knows this because some of them have been saying that to him. Nevertheless, for the most part, the way that John Gray has handled this, he's inundated the media and his congregations' perspectives with his narrative. So they have an overwhelming feeling of doubt about whether he cheated or not. They're like, it seemed like he was tempted, but then there's also a part of them that wants to understand him because they see him as a leader. They still want to financially support him. That's the thing. It's like, should I donate to the church or not? There are many that do. But the hidden advantage is a lot of them that are staying in the congregation really glean from the wife. So they look up to her. And they're not really willing to, they feel like, if we leave the church, we're kind of leaving behind the first lady as well. And, should we really be doing that? Okay, so now I'm going to ask one last question about this Pastor John Gray shit. I got a couple of questions, actually. We're going to use the spirit board. I want to know, with Pastor John Gray, has he slept with other women? Yes, he has. Period. He won't do this often. He is an emotional cheater, and he has had multiple virtual sexual encounters with women in his congregation and with women whom he has known for years. Period. So he's not really he mainly does a lot of phone sex and video chat based experiences. He's not particularly physical. He wants everyone to know he was wrong, but feels his truth would be better received if information is omitted. Exclamation point. The other woman wants her story told, but she also omits that she was completely aware he wasn't sincere in his walk as a man of God with his marriage and family. Period. So she's pretending to be ignorant to the con artistry that is Pastor John Gray. Nevertheless, what did Pastor John Gray's ancestors feel about this? They want him to They want him to give more thought to his messages, to his congregation, and demand more respect from his peers, even though he has fallen. Period. So his ancestors feel like even though all of this is going on, they're still like, he's going to still stand strong though. They're like, people are still going to respect him though. He should still demand his respect. His ancestors still have his back. All right. So with all that being said, you know what time it is. Thank you for tuning into the reading produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance to learn how to work with your ancestors, or you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. Before I go, I leave you with these words of wisdom from the rapper Dreezy. Gave mercy to these hoes. What would Jesus do? I'm your reader, Nexo, and the truth is always collaborative. Thanks for watching.
Fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline view. Ooh.